In this video, we're going to be talking about three-way calls. The three-way call is one of the most powerful tools that you have to go out there and build your business. So, how does a three-way call work? Well, very first thing is you need a phone and you need to know how to do a three-way call on your phone. I've got so many times I've talked to someone, they said, hey, let's do a three-way call. I say, all right, go ahead and connect them. Oh, I don't know how to do that on my phone. You know what I do? I say, go learn how to do it on your phone and let's talk again. Make sure you know how to do three-way on your phone. This is a very powerful tool we're going to use to build a business. The three-way call is used in a lot of different ways. One of the simplest ways you're going to use a three-way call is to talk to someone who has already been exposed to the business, and you want to either close that person or you want to just introduce that person to someone higher up and help them start to build a relationship with that person. So let's just say that you have someone who you've already done a presentation for, or they've already watched one of the videos and they've already seen about Revvnrg and they've heard a little bit about it and they're interested. You then will do a three-way call with that person by, first of all, talking to your upline, or the person that's going to do the call, and letting them know when the time it's going to be, making sure that that person's aware of it. And let's say we have it set up for 1 o'clock. What you'll do is you talk a little bit to your upline or to the person that's helping you with the three-way call and tell them a little bit about the situation with the person. So you say, hey, look, it's John. He watched the video on the website. We talked a few times about the business. I think he's going to get in. He's very interested, and I just want him to introduce him to you, and so he can talk to someone else. He has a few more questions. Say, great. Okay, you set it up for 1 o'clock. The very first thing that you'll do is you want to call your upline, or call the person who's going to be helping you do the call first. And the reason why you do this is because sometimes if you call the other person who you're doing the call with and to get them on the phone, and for whatever reason the other person isn't there, or they're out of area, or their phone's turned off, or something happens and you're not there, then it's a lot worse if you're doing that with one of your prospects. So you want to first get the person on the phone and say, okay, great, you know, we're now on the phone. I know the situation. I understand a little bit about the person. Then you will then three-way dial the other person in, bring them on the line, and at this point, you go ahead and you want to make a brief introduction. So you say, hey, Brian, this is John. I've told you a little bit about him. He's a great guy. He's already heard a little bit about the business, and he's very excited. John, this is the person I was telling you about. Brian, and then you want to edify for that person. And edifying means you just want to speak a little bit about this person's experience or what they've done, talk a little bit about them, so this person gets an idea of who they are. Hey, this is Brian. He's been very successful with this business. I've learned a lot from him. Whatever it may be, you want to edify and talk a little bit about that person, and then you want to back away, turn the call over, and then the person who is taking the call will then start to talk. So if it's me, at that point I would say, hey John, great, I've heard some things about you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and what you know so far about Revvnrg? And at that point the person will talk a little bit, they'll tell about themselves, turn it back over to me. I'll usually talk just a little bit about my background, and then we'll go in and we'll start talking about Revvnrg, get their questions answered. And at that point, help them close the person, but more importantly is whenever I get off the call, you want to make sure that you then are closing that person or having some sort of a call to action. Either they're going to get in the business right now, or we're going to come to another meeting or another exposure to the business, a bigger exposure to the business, to help that person take the next step to get involved with the business. So another way that we do three-way calls is to introduce someone to a person who just got into the business. So I just brought someone into my organization. They're excited. They just signed up. I then want to introduce them to people in their upline or to other people that are having success in the business, to give them another layer of support which they can go to for three-way calls, for presentations, for questions. And the more people you introduce them to, the better. And it works very similar. You set up the appointment first with the person in the upline, get it in, pull them on the call first, bring the other person, you as the upline get on, talk to them, hey, congratulations for coming into the business, I'm excited. You want to start building the relationship. The more layers you have of relationships, the more people that you introduce them to, the more people that they have for support, chances are the more likelihood that they will be to go out there and work the business, to feel like there's people to support them, to help them answer questions. Don't ever bring someone into the business and not introduce them to other people, not give them other people to call if they have questions or if they need things. You're really setting yourself up for failure. This is a team business, and this is a relationship business. So you want to utilize that for the relationships, to build teams, to build those relationships, and also help people go out there and have success. The three-way call is very, very, very powerful. Make sure you utilize it. The last way you would probably utilize a three-way call is to really almost do a presentation with someone, very long distance. So let's just say that someone's in another state and there's no meeting for them to plug into. You would first have them go, and we'll talk about this a little bit on inviting video, have them go and watch one of the videos where they can hear a little bit about the business, and then immediately get them on a three-way call where the upline can get in and go into more detail about the company, which is a little similar to what we did in the first one, but really kind of almost giving a presentation over the phone to help that person get going. So it's a very powerful tool. Make sure you utilize it. Make sure you understand how to use three-way calls. If you build through three-way calls, you're going to have tremendous success. Thanks.